Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me. I am Paula from Paper Crafts by PRB, and I am making some holiday little pockets. These are glassine bags, flip up glassine bags with a pocket. So here's the front. I just did this was some cardstock I have from 49 in Market Street. And so I just cut this to make it even with my glassine bag. I left a little bit, I made it shorter than my glassine bag so that you can kind of see a little bit of this underneath here. And then there's some ribbon and a button just for some decoration. And then there's a tab right here. There's a tab right here to help flip it open. Now, if you want to, you can decorate this part. I did not. You know, you can use that as journaling space. You can put some coffee or tea dyed paper on there and use it for journaling space. You can use it for a picture. And then this bottom part is your glassine bag. So I just used a die cut from the kit that I got, and then I just glued that here on the three sides and made a pocket. I just put a few little journaling cards in there, and then of course you have the pocket from the glassine bag that I just put a large tag in there. Okay, so very easy to make. Again, it is just this is a glassine bag, and then it just has a flip. You could also put a pocket up here on top. There's lots of things you could do with that. I just left mine blank. I did use double-sided cardstock so that when you flip it up, this wouldn't be blank, it would still be decorated. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to make that. Obviously, it's very simple, very easy, but for those beginners that aren't quite sure how to do this, let me show you how to do it. All right, so I'm gonna start with my glassine bag, and mine measures, looks like it measures 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. And then with this little flip part, so altogether 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and about 1/4. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So 6 1/4 by 4. Okay, and my glassine bag has been tea dyed, coffee dyed. I'm not sure if I think this is probably coffee dyed. Okay, so that's gonna be my my glassine bag. Now, of course, I already have everything cut out and prepared. So basically what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna want a piece that is the same width as your glassine bag. Okay, and then you want it, so mine is about the same length as my glassine bag, as you can see. Okay, but again, we want a little bit of this at the bottom to show it. I don't want it all the way at the bottom. So basically, all I do is I fold it, I don't know, maybe about 3/4 of an inch. Is that, yeah, about 3/4 of an inch maybe. Okay, so I'm just gonna fold this. So again, I cut a piece of double-sided cardstock about the length of my glassine bag. And then I'm gonna fold this over. There's no wrong way or how much you have, because this is gonna flip. This is gonna be your flip, okay? So it's gonna go like that. So after I fold that, right? So I folded it over about 3/4 of an inch. Then we're gonna go ahead and glue it onto our glassine bag. Now, when you glue this, don't forget, make sure you have your glassine bag facing up so the pocket is on the, up facing you. Okay, So I'm just gonna go ahead and that flap that we just folded over is gonna go directly onto the back side of your glassine bag. Okay, so just like that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip this over, and I'm gonna go ahead and put glue right here on my bag. All right. All right, so I'm just gonna lay this just like this, okay? So this is the right side. I'm gonna flip it up over like this, and here is where I made my score line, where I folded it. Okay, now I'm just gonna go ahead and put my glassine bag as close as I can to that fold line. Okay, so this side might need to go up a little bit. And then remember, we trimmed our paper to the width of our glassine bag. So it's gonna look just like that. Okay, so just like that. That's back side of it, and this is on the inside of it. Okay, so what you're gonna wanna do is to make this look like it is the bag. Let's go ahead and fold that back like that. I'm just gonna go ahead and notch that out. Now these bags don't have much of a corner to them, so just very little. I'm just gonna cut that piece out, and then I'm gonna use that piece and try and measure the best I can on the other side. Okay, so now you have it looking like that. I am going to ink that up a little bit. Okay, just like that. All right, so all we're gonna do next, let me see, that's already inked. Okay, so easy with that. Okay, so now I have a little, okay, so we have this little tab right here. Flip it up. If you don't want to make a tab, you don't have to, but I did make a tab. So I'm gonna put that, and you can put it anywhere down here. You can put it in the middle, you can put it on the side, on either side. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna glue that onto the front. Okay. This paper, again, is double-sided paper, and it is 49 in Market Street. I don't know if it's still available. I believe I got it a couple years ago. Let me see, I think I still have, yeah, I still have this little tab. It is Simple Vintage Dear Santa. It says, oh yeah, I bought it 2 years ago, 2023. Simple Vintage Dear Santa. All right. Okay, so there's our tab. All right. All right, so again, on this one, I just used a die, this was part of the cardstock paper. So I just trimmed it down to the size that I needed. So on this one, this was my cardstock. So I am going to just kind of decorate this up with some elements. Okay, I'm gonna put that there. I'm gonna put that there. I have some more lace. So I think I'm gonna do the lace first. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue some of that lace on there. I'm just gonna put it up here at the top. Give it some time to dry. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put some of that. I should be using hot glue so that it dries quicker, but I did not plug in my hot glue gun, so I will just make this work. Okay, so I'm just gluing that up there at the top just to give it a little bit of a decorative top. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry a little bit before I cut those ends. Okay. And then I have this piece I'm gonna put right about there. And then I have this Then I'm gonna cut a little bit more of that off. I don't want it quite that long. Now that I have that trim on there. Okay, so I'm gonna put this down first. Of course, you can decorate yours however you want. I am gonna use these as stocking stuffers. So I am going to put some gift cards in there, some of that, I don't know what it's called. It's those chocolate pieces that are really thin. Yeah, gosh, I can't think of what they're called. If anybody can remember what they're called, they kind of have a filling in them, a liquid filling. Well, they're not all liquid. But anyways, I've bought them before and most people like them. So I am gonna decorate it up, use them as stocking stuffers, and then add gift cards and candy, some of that thin candy. Okay, so I have that so far. Okay, let me turn this over and I'm gonna cut my trim so that it matches a little better with those corners of my Glassine bag. Okay, so there's that so far. I don't know how I got glue on that right there, but I did. Okay, and then I have, let's see here, I have some cheesecloth, but I don't know if I like that. I think I just want to put a button right there and then maybe tie let's see here, if I can get this to cooperate for me, maybe tie a bow. Let's see if I can do this. I left myself very little string, but I guess I don't need a whole lot now, do I? Okay, so maybe put a bow on there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and use a little bit more glue. I'm gonna go ahead and put that right there in the corner. And then I'm gonna tie that baker's twine. I used baker's twine, red and white baker's twine. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that on there, just like that. Let me use my scissors to kind of push that down a little bit. Okay. Actually, I don't want my bow that big, I don't think. So let's push that like that a little bit better. Okay. Let's see if we can get that to set up and dry a little better. Okay. Cut those off a little bit, maybe. Okay, there we go. So here is the front. Okay, I know that's not completely dry, but I'm gonna move on to the inside. Okay, so now you flip this up, and again, we can do journaling space right here. Excuse me, we can do a picture. You can decorate that up again. If you want, you can do a pocket, you know, put a pocket here at the bottom, or just a corner pocket, you know, just a small little tuck spot. Okay, but I am going to go ahead and do another pocket here at the bottom. So I just did one of these simple pockets. Again, I measured the width of my Glassine bag, and then I put a notch in there, and I'm just gonna glue that onto the Glassine bag. So very thin line of glue here. Okay. Oops. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I have a pocket right there. Okay, let me check this real quick here in the front, make sure this is drying up okay. Okay. Okay, so now I have a pocket down here. Okay, just like that. And I'm just gonna go ahead and use these pieces to just kind of put in here again. So we've got a couple pieces of cardstock, you know, a couple for journaling space, for journaling cards. Okay. And then for the back here, we've got another card, another tag that we can put right there in the back. Okay. So here we have it. And like I said, I like the way, if you want to, you can make yours so that this part comes all the way down, but I kind of like it kind of looking like it's a little layered, a little dimension right there. Okay, so there we have it. Here is the front of this one. I just did a button with some baker's twine, glued a bow up there on top. Okay, and then you flip it. You have the tab, and then you flip it open. You can do journaling space right there. You can do another pocket. You can do a corner tuck. Okay, and then here is your glassine bag, and you can put what have you in there. Like I said, I think I'm gonna put some candy and some, you know, maybe a few photos, memorabilia up here in this front pocket. Okay, and then here is this one. I just think that Santa is so cute. All right, I hope you enjoyed that, and maybe you got a little bit of inspiration from it. If you liked it, could you give me a thumbs up? Could you subscribe if you haven't already? I would greatly appreciate it. And until the next video, thank you.